everybody, it's a fun review today because we're talking about The Lost City. Not gonna lie, on the down low, I actually was quite excited for The Lost City. I didn't really address it publicly or anything, but it's kind of right up my alley, this kind of genre. These action-adventure romantic comedies. And it's not really a genre that we see on the big screen with a big budget and, a theatrical release. This is usually something you would see kind of thrown on a streaming service, so it does make me happy to see something like this on the big screen. The Lost City centers around novelist Loretta Sage, who's unexpectedly kidnapped and hopes that she can lead an eccentric billionaire to an ancient city's lost treasure that she mentioned in one of her novels. So it's up to Alan, the handsome cover model of her novels, to set off and rescue her to prove that he can be a hero off the pages of her novels. As far as 2022 films are concerned, I have to say this is probably the first big surprise I've had all year. It's not my favorite film of the year by any means. We have the Batman, Scream 5, all those, but I have to say The Lost City is a lot of fun. This film really made me miss that whole entire subgenre, these swashbuckling action adventures with romantic comedy elements. I know we had Jungle Cruise not that long ago, but other than that, we really haven't gotten too many examples of this. We have the classics, of course, like Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile. There's definitely some influences there from those films specifically, and hints of Indiana Jones throughout the film as well. You very much can feel the influences there because they do give off similar vibes, which isn't really a slight to The Lost City in my opinion, because I do think it does use that same formula from those films, but I think it does just enough here to give it its own unique style and flair to it. It's hard to deny just how fun of an adventure we go on with these characters. Once we dive into this wild jungle adventure along with Sandra Bullock's character, it's just pure fun escapism. Like, it's very lighthearted. It's meant to be not taken seriously. The plot of the movie is absolutely ridiculous. Can you imagine being an author and pretty much being thrown into your own novels? I don't know. I think that could be, in a certain sense, be a horror film. Like, imagine if, say, like George R.R. Martin. Imagine throwing George R.R. Martin into a Game of Thrones story. Actually, that's not that bad. I actually kind of want that now. To sell such an absurd concept, I do think one of the big factors in believability here is having a very strong cast behind it, and I think The Lost City excels at that perfectly, because the cast in The Lost City, all of them are great. Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum are both phenomenal actors. We've seen over the years they have so much charisma whenever they're on screen, but we also know from their careers they have some great comedic timing. So putting them together in this film, it just worked very well. Their chemistry is just so good. It's so electric, and it shines through best when they're paired for these over-the-top comedic scenes. Those are the ones I was not expecting to laugh as hard as I did, because the film has some great comedic gags. Sandra Bullock always excels in these roles. It's kind of hard not to root for her as a character, even if she isn't the nicest person in the world, because she is this reclusive author, and she's not particularly fond of Channing Tatum's character whatsoever for most of the film's runtime. You do kind of feel for her because of the fact she's put in this outrageous predicament. She's stuck in the middle of this jungle with this purple dress on and has to deal with everybody trying to save her, whether it be Channing Tatum or Brad Pitt. That's not a bad duo to be stuck between. If I were in that position, I wouldn't mind it. Channing Tatum and Brad Pitt trying to save me. I do think the film all around becomes much more enjoyable when Channing Tatum is thrown into the picture trying to save Sandra Bullock, because we all know that Channing Tatum has great comedic timing. We've seen the Jump Street films 21 and 22. He has no problem being the butt of the joke here. He is not afraid to embrace the more silly, campy, humorous tone, playing this Fabio-esque cover model for Loretta Sage's books, and attempting his best to be an actual real-life hero, and kind of not being the greatest at it. We do see him go through a lot of treacherous trials and tribulations trying to be the hero, the real-life hero, whether it's Sandra Bullock pulling all these leeches off of him, he's falling all the time, or where they're in these crazy big action scenarios evading lava and crumbling tombs. I couldn't get enough of it. They're just some of the best parts of this film. I wanted more of them two together. I would love if we got more of them in more installments. I don't know if that's really going to be the case, but that's just hopeful, wishful thinking here. I only mentioned him a little bit briefly, but Brad Pitt is such a scene stealer in this film. He's probably one of the best parts of the film, along with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock. He just chews up the scenery and is so funny in each and every segment he's in, portraying this former Navy SEAL that's tasked with tracking down Sandra Bullock's character. He's great. He's not in a ton of the movie by any means, but that's why he's such a scene stealer whenever he is on screen. Kind of an unexpected casting choice here, having Daniel Radcliffe play this eccentric billionaire villain. I do think he is kind of stifled a bit by the over-the-top cheesy dialogue that they choose to give him in the film, but I do think he does his best to be a good villain in the film. He's not my favorite part of the film by any means, but it's just so interesting to have Daniel Radcliffe in this role, and I actually think he has a very impressive career outside of Harry Potter. actor in general, and this kind of just feels like right in line with all the other eccentric roles he's chosen over the years. While I don't think The Lost City reinvents the wheel when it comes to action, adventure, romantic comedies, I do think this is a very solid one. If you're in the mood to immerse yourself in some over-the-top escapism, I do think this would be right up your alley here. It's pretty rare to get one of these films theatrically these days, because we do see a lot of these types of films kind of thrown on a streaming service, whether it be Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, HBO Max. I'm glad that we're getting this a theatrical release. I mean, it's Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. I hope that people go out and see this in theaters. I know it'll probably be on Paramount Plus after 45 days because I know that's their whole deal. But I do think that this is a film that you should check out in theaters. But if not, you know, it'll be on Paramount Plus eventually. And I would love for you to check it out and give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. Now that you've heard my thoughts on The Lost City, make sure you share your thoughts down below when you do get a chance to check out the film. What did you think of The Lost City? Did you like the film? Not like the film? Share any thoughts you may have in the comments section. It's part of the fun is having that conversation with you guys in the comments section down below. Also, thank you guys as always checking out the reviews. I really appreciate that. Make sure to like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you update restrictions, unboxings, and more. The next time, I'll see you guys later.